So as far as TikTok goes, Paul Breach is the gift that keeps on giving. And I don't know how he does it, but he does keep managing to get worse.
Give me one margarita, I'ma open my legs. Give me 2 margaritas, I'ma give you some head.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is about the level for today's video. Because while his views have been dropping pretty drastically, either luckily or unluckily for us, this has meant that he has gone to new lows in order to get the attention he needs. And I mean, looking at his old videos, who could have seen this coming?
And the fucking porn stars and them sexy motherfuckers showing shit on the bar.
Yeah, I really have no idea who these videos are made for, because it's probably not me or you, so at this point, it's anybody's guess. I mean, I did just notice that I saved this video as this on my computer, so to be honest, I might be part of the problem. But either way, we're going to get right into this, because there is a lot to cover today. The devil works hard, but Paul Breach, he works a little bit harder.
Isn't my ex like 10 years younger than me? I know, Flex.
Yeah, so if you ever catch me saying flex after sentences like that, just know that I'm too far gone and that you should probably just put me down. If nothing else, Paul Breach does have a talent. I mean, some people are good at singing, some people are good at sport. Unfortunately for Paul Breach, he has a talent for doing and saying the worst thing in every situation.
Strange McFuttery. Fuckery?
And with that in mind, if he just did the opposite to what his brain is telling him to do in every situation, well, I think he would become the model citizen. And with that said, I do actually have to give Paul Breach his flowers when he deserves them. There was a situation in a hotel that he was staying in, and let's just say he sorted it. Yeah, when Paul Breach stares at you like that, you know there might be a problem. You could have people outside his door committing atrocities, and he would still look at the camera and do a little goofy expression. So there's quite a heated argument outside his hotel room, and all we're missing here is a little TikTok dance. Whatever you do, don't tell Paul Breach there was a plane crash in Tanzania, because he will start dancing and it's never fun.
Bear with.
So he stood up to the plate and he went out to confront it, but unfortunately it's not for the reasons you think. He is just mad because they interrupted his TikTok live. Nobody, and I mean nobody, gets in the way of him receiving gifts from 14-year-old girls. There is nothing worse you can do to Paul Breach in his eyes, and with that in mind he went out there and he did deal with them. And I've seen people on TikTok kind of debating whether this was real or not. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that he faked something happening just off camera.
But... Oh, bless you, love. Bless you. Love. Fucking hell.
Yeah, this is an unbelievable level of pathetic. You might have seen this clip before, but it doesn't get any better no matter how many times you watch it. And even worse, it's not even the only time he's done it. The guy will continuously feign like people being in his room and playing around with him. And I mean, you can accept it from like maybe a 16-year-old, but when you're pushing 50, well, maybe you should just like stop and delete your account. Yeah, so bro just winked at his wall. I mean, in fairness, it might be a net positive. He has definitely done more harmful winks at people that definitely didn't want it. Yeah, so scientists to this day are trying to work out what this is. Some have said that it might be Paul Breach's foot. Personally, I've no idea. But the one thing I do know is it's not a woman's finger. But yeah, with these two videos in mind, I think you might be aware that Paul Breach definitely has it in him to fake this sort of stuff. Anything for TikTok views, right? But there might be a line somewhere. If there is a line, then I don't think Paul Breach has found it. And to be honest, I don't think he ever will. And at this point, it might just be breaking the immersion I have in the Paul Breach mysterious persona. He has gone through so much effort to try and present himself as like a mysterious guy. Yeah, Paul Breach, you are so nonchalant and so cool. I mean, that is a sequence of words that no one has ever said before, because realistically, this is just painful at this point. For me, it's that little dance he does at the start, kind of acting nonchalant. It is the dance you would do on holiday when you were like 14. Trying to act mysterious is like a universal experience for all of us when we were kids. But Paul Breach, he's never grown out of it. And to be honest, it's just a little bit pathetic. But off the back of all this stuff, he has become like a public figure. I don't know how, but every time he leaves the house, he does get sighted. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He is the UK's version of Bigfoot, because people will just take photos anytime he's out and about. And half the time he doesn't even realise, but realistically, he does love it. Well, most of the time anyway, because sometimes he does get pressed.
Excuse me. I got a nonce with me. I got a nonce, sir. He's a sex offender. Listen, he's actually a nonce. He's actually a nonce. He's actually a fucking nonce.
Oh, bless you. You haven't listened
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that, but even a dog is like wailing for help. If I was near paulbreach, I would probably make a similar noise.
Oh, bless you. You haven't listened.
Yeah, to me, the funniest thing about this is these encounters are just innumerable. I mean, granted, a man has got to go outside. I'm sure he's been on house arrest at some point, but not at the moment, so I guess he has got to go out and appreciate the fresh air. If there's any adjective that paulbreach does love, it's fresh. Fresh air, fresh food, I don't know what else. To be honest, I don't know if I'm going to leave that one in the video. If it stays in, probably count yourself lucky. Feel free to like drop a sub as appreciation. But back to paulbreach in public, well, there is one variable that is constantly the same. The man is always alone.
And she said, green, green grass, blue, blue sky. You better throw a party on the day that I die. Green, green grass.
Yeah, I really hope this song isn't copyrighted, because if it is, I might be finished. Yeah, in every single clip, he looks like poised to meet someone at that moment. It's almost like he's waiting. I think he really wants to just meet people out in public. Unfortunately, it's probably rarer than you think. I mean, the footage online would suggest otherwise, but he did a stream recently, and just about no one came up to him.
I'm ready for moments today. We'll have a chit chat.
Yeah, please put your tongue back in your mouth. I'm gonna level with you man to man, and sure, I'm half your age, but you should probably take this advice. If you walk around in public with your tongue hanging out, especially if you are scouting around, there is probably a high chance you get bundled into the back of a police van. And sure, it is your prerogative, but if they put you away, I'm not gonna have any video ideas, so for both of our sakes, probably don't do that.
Shy.
This can only be compared to like fishing. He is searching for fans, not the other way around. Normally with like public figures, they will be approached. paulbreach is probably the only person that will approach you for a photo with him. And he is casting his rod out and looking for a bite. And I think when it comes to paulbreach, when you say rod, it could mean a lot of things. But here it's fairly innocent, you know, he is just walking around with his clothes on. Let's hope it stays that way.
Yes, you can. Have a nice day.
Well, we got a bite, and to be honest, I am actually grateful. If he had gone this full stream without seeing anyone, which was a possibility, by the way, I think I would have died of like second-hand embarrassment.
I'm in the mood. Trolls are quiet when I'm outside, aren't they? I mean, all these people, and not one of them's come up to me with a baseball bat.
Yeah, it was at this point that someone jumped out and did clobber him in the head. It was a terrible scene, but everybody forgot about it after about 2 minutes. Unfortunately, there was no one around to breakdance at the news of this tragedy. Yeah, I'm only joking, but the thought of that does make me realise how important paulbreach is to the economy. The creator economy, that is. The normal economy is probably only suffering because of paulbreach.
Hello.
Are you paulbreach?
I am.
Can we get a picture?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, me, paulbreach, you know, I have been walking around the city for about 2 hours now, but you managed to catch me, so yeah, you can have a photo. Credit where credit's due, he was at least polite. We are currently in an epidemic of TikTokers that both think they're famous and also are pricks about it. And I mean, it's one pro weighed up against about 285 cons. But with the state of TikTok, especially UK TikTok at the moment, I think we're just gonna have to take what we can get.
Well, there you go. Told you. I don't need to lie on the internet.
Yeah, his told you so was 2 people. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating, there was literally 2 people that came up to him. But yeah, maybe everyone was wrong. Maybe he is famous. Maybe he is a national heartthrob. Or maybe he's a laughing stock. I will let you decide that one for yourself. Yeah, honestly, researching this video, it's with a heavy heart that I do have some bad news. paulbreach was caught on camera doing something absolutely horrific.
Over the hills and undercover. She said, green, green grass, blue, blue sky.
Recording in public, is there no depths you won't sink to? I mean, it's bad enough that we are subjected to this on TikTok, but subjecting the public to this, that is unjustifiable. Paul Breach, you are walking a fine line, my friend. I have a good mind to come sit as an arrest you myself. But yeah, with all these clips, some people have felt some sympathy for poor little Paul. I mean, people have been making edits and they are both funny and sad at the same time. Honestly, I just want to cuddle him. I mean, I definitely don't, but I had some weird compulsion to say that. So now it's out in the world. Paul Breach, if you're watching this, please don't come near me. And I don't think I'll be wanting to, because there was actually a good solution. I mean, it was a good solution for him, but it wasn't a good solution for anybody else. Yeah, once it got to his round, he went to the toilet and he never came back. That was about the only day where you couldn't sight Paul Breach in public. But yeah, unfortunately, this was the peak. Because ever since then, he has been spiralling. I think he might be the UK's version of the Joker.
A full festive bonanza on the Hits UK chart recap. Who's
I'm just so cool and trendy. Oh, the security guy at Costa's. Do you know what he said?
Probably something to the effect of get out of my face now. But it doesn't stop with the mood swings. He did start talking to himself. And I mean, it was good advice for him, but that's about where the praise ends.
Are they an adult? Are they an adult? Are they an adult?
To try to convince his MPs that his Rwanda bill is the
Are they an adult? Say yes, Paul. And they'll boogie, and they'll dance, and they'll have a little romance. Have a boogie, have a dance.
Yeah, we need to section this man, preferably soon. He is like a real-life cartoon character. He will just break into song and dance at random intervals. And to be honest, I think that might be the worst thing about him. It's just so unpredictable. At literally any moment, you could just be flashbanged by him dancing like this. And as far as his TikTok goes, there is only one thing worse. It's when he gets sexual and it will make your skin crawl.
Let me think. Make me lose my breath. Make me water.
There is not a single cell in my body that is surprised that you don't know what this means. I mean, you've had a kid, you are a dad, and I'm still not surprised. I think that might summarise Paul Breach perfectly.
I can't work it out. Can't work it out. Is it get you a glass of water? It might be. Ah.
Yeah, this grin sends a shiver along my spine. If you're watching this past like 3 AM, I can only apologise. Jokes aside, obviously he knows what it means. I'm sure he's just absolutely delighted that he's got everybody in his life to explain it to him. And who do you think the main demographic of his lives are? Well, I won't make any claims, but I'm sure you can take a really good guess. And then finally, to end off his descent into insanity, well, he had a big message for everybody watching and taking the piss.
So, all those people who think they're safe on the internet, you're not as safe as you all think you are, bless you.
Yeah, I think I might have taken it too far. I think I might be in real danger. I'd lock my door, but he is a supernatural being. He will just float through my wall. If I don't upload in the next week, you know exactly what happened. And apparently, I'm hearing from experts that the only way you can save me is by liking and commenting. I'm a small YouTuber. I'm still allowed to be shameless for about 3 more weeks. But yeah, to round off this video, I will leave you with one final message from Paul.
You're in a snuggle up cuddle mood. I'm always in a snuggle up cuddle mood. Mood. Always. I'm very good at cuddling. Actually, I'm really good at cuddling, to be honest. I'm immaculate company. Oh my god.
God, he's just so cute. In a weird, quite freaky way, but you know what? It all counts. How can I say no to that face? Fine, I'll take a week off Paul Breach videos after this one. It's Christmas time, you know, he does deserve it, so like, consider it my treat. But yeah, that said, thanks for watching. I'm having a lot of fun making these videos recently, and the support has been great. Just know that I see every comment, and it does go a long way. And the growth is pretty crazy, so I really do appreciate it. But yeah, with that said, I think I'm gonna go hide from the ghost of Paul Breach. If you don't see me soon, then you know what happened. But hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.
You're going to find it very impossible to find someone I've not been a gentleman with.
Sorry. I'm allergic to fake friends.
There is nothing behind those eyes. I mean, they are the eyes of a shark. To be fair, I'm not sure there ever has been anything behind those eyes, but this photo, it is scary. So people are talking about Paul Breach again this weekend. I'd kind of assumed he was gone, but apparently not. Apparently the guy is clinging on for dear life. Unfortunately, this has kind of come back to bite him, because somebody on TikTok who can basically only be described as one of his victims, well, they've made like a whole account to expose him. They've released a tweet longer and a load of videos, and to be honest, it's not looking good for Paul, but we'll get to that a little bit later. First, for the uninitiated, I just want to expose you to Paul. I mean, to be fair, he might expose himself to you if you're not careful, but basically Paul Breach, he's a 40-year-old man, he's pushing 50, and he acts like a little girl on TikTok.
Spread it open and flick the bean. I'm Joey, I'm proud of the pussy queen.
Yeah, I'm not even going to dignify this TikTok by watching it till the end. He doesn't deserve it, and I think if you're watching this, you probably deserve better than that. Either way, the guy's a bit of a mess. He had his time in the sun a couple of years ago, and he was very popular. Not a good way, but to be fair, people on TikTok will take fame of any kind. But either way, during this time in the sun, he was subject to a fair bit of scrutiny, and it turns out that he probably does have quite a few skeletons in that closet of his. I mean, one of them is that he doesn't wear shoes anywhere he goes, but that's probably as good as it gets, because Paul Breach, as a brand, he's basically synonymous with the word nonce. There are countless examples of him being like inappropriate or seedy with underage fans.
More energy, pal. It's time me and you were friends. Let's fix that. Let's sort it. You look beautiful. You're amazing.
But somehow by this point, that is just Paul. People are just kind of desensitized to it. We've had a look at what he's done in the past in some previous videos. If you are interested to see the evidence of that, feel free to go back and watch those videos. To be fair, while you're doing that, you might as well like and sub. But either way, this did come to a head recently, because this girl on TikTok, she came out and she exposed Paul. POV, it's been months since he fell out with a greasy rat, and this greasy rat thing, it could apply to a lot of people. And at this point, people were questioning who it was, but she quickly followed this up with some videos. And I mean, this girl was on the inside. She was in Paul Breach's inner circle. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, but she was there, and clearly she has survived. But the videos, they are nothing short of haunting. He eats breadsticks. I mean, this is hard-hitting journalism so far. I don't want to take away from what this girl is saying, because as you're going to see in a little bit, she makes some, like, serious claims. There is something kind of weird about, like, sitting around and recording someone. This isn't me defending Paul. The guy is a creep, and I will arrest him myself. But you got to question the intentions of someone that kind of sits around and records constantly. Either way, I do trust him less now, because the way he pulls that out, it's like a knight pulling out a sword, and I know he thinks he's a white knight, but he's definitely not. Well, in fairness, at least he is self-aware. If you were hoping this was some introspective Paul Breach moment, though, I hate to break it to you, you are going to be disappointed. Because sadly, this is him just talking to 14-year-olds on TikTok Live. He's predictable if nothing else.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
But yeah, so far these clips have only exposed him as a weirdo. Nothing we didn't know already. I mean, the guy is just a mess. It's absolutely mental to think that this man has had a son. I don't know how. If anybody knows how babies are made, feel free to comment down below. However that is, though, I just fail to see how Paul Breach has managed to pull that off. Either way, after this, she posted one more video, and it's maybe the best representation of the highs and lows of being Paul Breach that I've ever seen. This is pure nihilism, just pure misery. This is Paul Breach at his lowest, but don't worry, we can go lower. Because, as I said, the girl that we mentioned earlier in the video, well, she wrote a whole document, and in this document, she basically details her whole experience with Paul Breach. At the time of recording this video has like between 600,000 and 700,000 views. And Paul Breach did actually respond himself, but we'll get to that after we read through the document. And don't worry, in the name of retention, I'm just going to go through the key bits. Basically, the first key point to to understand is that these two became friends, quote unquote, when the girl had just turned 18. Initially, as she says, Paul Breach was very nice to her, but in situations like this is a very recognisable pattern. They started to get closer, and it eventually ended up with Paul Breach like sleeping on her sofa. During this time, he went on some excursions, which I can only assume are those clips where he's just walking around towns looking for people to take photos with. But he came back like he's a cat, and he went to her 19th birthday party. This man is 43, by the way. Let's just keep this in mind. He actually met her parents as well, and they were okay with this, which is completely mental to me. She then does kind of affirm that Paul's behaviour was never sexually inappropriate, at least explicitly, but as you're going to see in the rest of this document, it was definitely inappropriate in other ways. Paul basically took over this girl's house and was sleeping on the sofa. He would open explicit images from other people who she says were young. That's pure speculation on her part, but to be fair, it's Paul Breach, so I would not be surprised. And then from here, it kind of goes downhill quick, because he would like massage her from behind, even saying stuff like it's his, which is crazy. He would get very jealous whenever this girl was involved with any other man. He would just generally act creepily, and he would also ask to go and see her 15-year-old cousin. He even went behind their back and tried to put himself on the tenancy. I mean, this is the behaviour of an absolute lunatic. There's some bits at the end where she says that he didn't shower for the full month he was there, and to be fair, that I can believe at face value. But before this was posted, he would talk about it on his lives, and he actually claimed he was being groomed by them. I mean, this guy is mental, and luckily for us, he did actually respond to this post.
Trigger warning. Yeah, it's me, Paul. That's not the trigger warning, so calm down. I've got chewing gum and I'm chewing while talking, so if that does really upset you.
I mean, straight off the bat, and maybe it's irrelevant, but has this guy been punched 3 times in the face? I mean, I've seen red faces, but I've never seen 3 perfectly formed red circles. I think there might be something Paul Breach is not telling us, but it's irrelevant. We'll get back to the response.
Hi, it's me. I am going to take this very seriously. Number 1, if I'm scary, awfully scary, probably you wouldn't invite me to your house on numerous occasions.
If you ever roar at me again, I will add a 4th punch to that face. But he's just completely ignoring the principle that victims are typically manipulated. She even says, full transparency, that she was fully like kind of under his spell, or she at least thought he was a good guy from what he presented to her. So far we're 0 for 1. Let's see what else he's got to say.
You probably definitely wouldn't video me and photograph me like eating and standing up and crying to a song and walking in the rain. You'd probably be more petrified.
Again, at this point, she was kind of under the illusion that you were a good guy. And I mean, you are infamous on TikTok for being a weirdo. It is weird that she was recording you, and I did concede that earlier in the video. But to be honest, it doesn't take away from anything she said in that document.
I wouldn't do that. Would you do that? I don't know. Just maybe you would do that. Again, chewing, trigger warning. See? I'm being very informative and helpful.
I mean, if you take any substance from what Paul Breach would or wouldn't do, then you might be an idiot. That's on you, though. Either way, this guy is basically not even responding at this point. He's just talking about the gum he's chewing. Enjoy it while you can, because they might not have it in prison.
Also, in hindsight, it's a beautiful thing. I am so glad that I didn't shower at your house, because the shower was momentous.
I mean, that is on you, but fair play for coming out.
But also, if you videoed me and photographed me sat down on a sofa in a garden and in the rain, you might well have photographed me and videoed me. Whoa!
Yeah, he's either fantasizing or speculating, and I really hope it is the latter. Again, though, you're not even responding to what she said, you're just kind of dancing around it. But to be fair, Paul Breach does love dancing, so I'm not sure why I'm surprised.
I'm petrifying me. Look at me. Wild. Everybody does their own crazy, and everybody does their own normal.
Yeah, this isn't even a slick edit. Like, this guy has not responded to anything. He's not even tried. He's just tried to make it out like she said he's scary when she didn't say that once. I don't think anyone would describe you as scary, more like creepy or disgusting. Either way, he just kind of took this line down, and this is a very bad look.
Whatever way you want to be normal, whatever you want to do crazy, it's everybody's individual choice. I'm Paul. Nice to meet you.
Well, at least he's rehearsing his lines for when the police come to his door. If he even has a door, I think he might be homeless at this point. But yeah, at the end of that, it's not like we didn't already know that Paul Breach was a creep. I mean, he is pretty unanimously considered to be TikTok's biggest creep, or at least one of them, but this does kind of solidify it. As far as I know, there's never been someone that's explicitly come out and kind of alleged that he's done stuff to them. If there is and I've missed it, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think above all. He exists in his own little corner of TikTok now, and I kind of feel like this will have no impact on anything, but it should. And if you've watched this video, I hope you at least know by now that he is a creep and you should probably steer clear. If you're not convinced, I'll show you one more video that hopefully should hammer that point home. And if this video doesn't convince you, then I don't think anything could. Like and sub.
Okay, so what makes you happy in life?
People, life, travelling, exploring, smiles, laughter, music.
Children as well, to be fair, you know, in my DMs, nothing beyond that.
And what makes you upset in life?
People.
People that catch me mostly, you know. I hate being caught. It kind of ruins the whole operation.
What quote do you live by?
Live life for now, because you only get one chance at it.
That is a good one.
Oh yeah, and there's one more. If there's grass on the pitch, play ball. What am I doing? I can't put that in the video. So Paul Breach is back, and if you're anything like me, you're going to be delighted to hear this news. I'm not exactly happy to see him, but I know that when he is back, he normally does something terrible. It's great content, and the sightings in public have been rolling in. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Seeing this guy in public must be a terrifying experience. He is basically the UK's Bigfoot at this point. If you get him on camera, you're getting some money. If demons exist, and they might, their eyes probably do look like that. I don't know how he like routinely maintains this terrifying aura. I guess to a degree his reputation does precede him, but I've never seen a video where I think, I trust this man. Every time I see him on camera, he does scare me, and to be fair, you might have the same reaction. Drop a like or he is going to appear through your window. I mean, he won't, but you know what, the game is the game. And to get more serious for a second, some pretty damning allegations have come out in the last couple of months. We did a video on it at the time, feel free to go back and watch that, but for this video, I will cut a long story short. And side note, I have just gone on her TikTok to double check the facts and she's deleted the videos. To put it into context, these videos were up last night. I bookmarked them last night. I don't know what's going on there, but basically the story is that he moved in and befriended an 18-year-old or someone that had just turned 18 at the age of 44. That's normal. That's really normal. The micro details when you go into the story do make it even weirder, but again, that was covered in that other video. And after all that came out, you would think that maybe you try and keep a lower profile. Maybe try and get a little bit cleaner, you know, stop the weird antics. Unfortunately, that obviously didn't happen, and he has been basically doubling down.
Firstly, I asked my mum. Yeah. That's exactly what I
You can just see his eyes like light up. An ice cream van jingle to Paul Breach is like the bat signal. He knows it's feeding time, and unfortunately, I'm not talking about ice cream. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes I just say things, you know. In the name of authenticity, I'll keep it in a video. But don't worry, like, there is some good news accompanying this. Maybe not for us, but at least for him. He's gone on record to say that he might have a girlfriend, and to be honest, this might change reality in only good ways.
The big news is, big announcement, a lady makes Paul really happy. And she's my age.
Yeah, the fact he has to actually clarify that is kind of soul destroying. And by the way, this news should only come as good news. Like, the people of this nation are now finally safe. Mostly the younger people, but you know what? I think we all do somehow benefit. I do on one hand feel bad for this woman. She is basically Atlas. She is carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. But on the other hand, this is a relationship. She is there willingly. Hopefully, anyway, but in this case, I am willing to take that leap of faith. If nothing else, let this be reassurance that there is somebody out there for everybody. But unfortunately, that is basically where the benefits stop. Because if you expected Paul Breach to be humble about this, you are wrong.
What are the trolls going to do with that? All the trolls are crying. What the fuck are they going to do with that? Oh, they're going to hate it. What are they going to do with that?
If you ever kiss at me again, then we are going to have big problems. Now, I don't know if I qualify as a troll. I kind of hope I do, but I'm not in the comments every day, so I might not. But if I can speak for them, then I will say we are happy about this. The nation, as I said, is now safer, so this can only be a positive. But I won't lie, it does give me creepy vibes, and to be honest, the more he talks about it, the weirder it does get in my brain.
I find my partner beautiful.
You're in a relationship, that is normally implied. But to be fair, it is good to hear this from Paul. It's good to be reminded that he is at least barely a human. And maybe it is a nice thing to say, but not 5 seconds later, he did ruin it.
And she makes me incredibly happy. And she says I can still continue to muck about being me. I have free reign to keep being me. She's a keeper. And then I'll let her out eventually.
You know what, Paul? I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt. I really did try. But after that, I am just worried and terrified for her well-being, to be honest. I want to be optimistic. Rehabilitation is only ever good. But let's be real, this can only end badly. And I might even be too late. It might have already ended pretty badly. There's like another clip of him talking about it, and you can just hear something or someone. It sounds like they're screaming for a gag. I mean, this probably is set up, right? But if I was Paul Breach and I knew I could get away with something like this is probably something I'd do. I mean, I don't like to step into the mind of Paul Breach, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Hey baby, make me smile in the middle of the night. Everyone nowadays is silly though. What do you mean everyone? No, they're not. There's some lovely people out there.
Now I'll let you make your own mind up. To be fair, I think it might be safe if we send someone round to check. It won't be me. It's definitely not going to be me, but somebody needs to do it. If you want to volunteer in the comments down below, be my guest. But maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe everything is going to be okay forever. There's some clips of these two talking, and to be fair, maybe they're made for each other.
You don't lie anyway. You've got to be a bit brave because people come at you. But the amount of people who open this, who got their fucking picture, their fucking cat or whatever, can't get the confidence to go live because it's a scary place.
Now, going live on TikTok, that is notoriously the scariest thing you can do. I mean, I'm sure that's the case for Paul Breach and maybe Elphaba. For everybody else, it is probably fine. In fact, as long as you don't creep on your underage fans and do whatever the fuck Elphaba does, I think, to be honest, you might be fine. There is only one way to find out. And again, while I won't be doing it, if somebody wants to volunteer in the comments, be my guest. That aside, though, now that Paul Breach has got the girl, he seems to be turning on his community. And I mean, on one hand, his community have historically always hated him, but he is now pretty vocally coming out against them, and to be honest, I don't see how this ends well.
I know, it's just really sad. Well, I went live with you once with my face, didn't I? And oh my god, funniest thing ever. I know you say turn your comments off, but every now and then just turn them on just really gives me a sense of how thick people are, and it really brings me back down to earth.
Oh, they are. If you ever want a feeling of feeling intelligent, you just put a comment section on and just go, oh, hello, guys. Fucking hell.
Now, listen, if somebody talks about other people being stupid, you're going to assume that they have some type of intelligence to back it up. And do you know what screams intelligence? Dating Paul Breach. Being in a relationship with the biggest creep on TikTok. Now, I'm just a man on the internet, but you know what? That might be the hallmark of a stupid person. But I might be one of those trolls, so maybe I myself just am stupid. Don't take my words to be gospel. But like through these clips, he is fully doubling down on this point, and he does seem a little bit emotional. Again, to be fair, if I was Paul Breach, I would be fairly emotional, but he is attacking this point and he is not letting up.
Benjamin, hi, thank you for the roses. I mean, I've never seen the thickest, like, they just sit in a fucking comment. Oh, all the amount of messages I've received over the years on Insta going, oh, if you were that brave, you'd turn comments on in your video. Yeah, that's how fucking world peace gets sorted. You turn comments on the TikTok section.
Now, in fairness, we're not looking for world peace, we're just looking for safety for our children. Though in all fairness, when Paul Breach is involved, world peace does somehow seem like the more likely outcome. Either way, despite all of this chemistry of them coming together to insult random people in the comments, well, it seems like the honeymoon period might be over already. Paul Breach is already scouting the market, and he might be dressing it up as something else, but to be fair, I don't know who he's fooling here.
You'll follow me on Insta. Follow me, talk to me. I'm here for a conversation. I have a beautiful lady who is in my love life, but in friendship life, hi, I will speak to you and show an interest in your life.
Now again, it does kind of just write itself. I think it might be common knowledge that Paul Breach's fan base are all 14-year-olds, so it does stand to reason, obviously, he wants to connect with them on a personal level. I mean, it doesn't get any less creepy. You'd think he'd clean up his act after all the exposure he's got, but clearly not, and it gets to the point where you kind of have to question if this is ever going to stop. Personally, I can see this continuing on till he's like 50, probably beyond that, which is a crazy statement, but it is backed up by the fact that he does actually think he's famous.
When I consider myself a celebrity, I'd consider myself TikTok famous. Benny, thanks, Rose. And by the fact that the whole fucking world knows my name, I'm fully qualified in saying it. Yeah.
I mean, by that criteria, I guess he is famous. Just kind of like an Epstein famous. We do have this conversation every time a TikToker kind of calls himself famous. The better term is clearly infamous. And the fact that those two titles are basically conflated in the world of TikTok, it's a very worrying thought. And by the way, he is nothing else but consistent. He keeps his story straight. And I mean, there's been points recently where he said that people are impersonating him. If I'd done something dodgy or said something dodgy, I would just say it was somebody impersonating me. That is maybe top 3 excuses of all time.
So heads up, there are some strange moments out there continuously pretending to be me. I am the real me. This is my account. Be famous, it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's incredible.
You are just so humble, Paul Breach. You are the model professional. In fairness, in comparison to some of the other people we talk about from UK TikTok, he might actually be a saint, and that is a scary thought. You know what? I might be willing to give him a second chance, as long as he doesn't go around in public just like ranting. That's kind of the signs of somebody losing it, so as long as we don't get to that, we should be fine.
Like, what are you going to do? You see Marjorie speaking to Malcolm in the middle of the high street. You're going to wait for Marjorie to disappear, and you're all going to go over to Malcolm and go, I can't believe you were speaking to Marjorie. We've told you as a collective we don't like Marjorie, and now we've got you. No, you're not. You're not going to do that at all. You're going to leave Marjorie and Malcolm to do what they want to do in the real world, in the real life.
I have no idea what he's saying, but like the pan around of the camera to prove that he is indeed in public. It's a nice touch. It reminds me of that person, you know, that puts it on their story every time they leave the house. To be fair, there might be a burden on Paul Breach to prove that he is a free man at any given moment, because let's be real, that fact could change any time now. But yeah, overall, the one thing that I am thinking about is that video I did mention at the start. It's weird that she deleted these statements about Paul, and it's even weirder that she did it after I'd favorited it. It's probably a coincidence, but tell me what you think. To be fair, I'm hoping it's a coincidence, and hopefully by this point I can just wash my hands of Paul Breach. Yeah, either way, if anything else happens, I will make a video on it, but hopefully not. Hopefully he just goes away and marries his bride. But let's be real, that is never going to happen, so with that in mind, I'll leave you with one nostalgic video.
This could go fucking badly wrong.
Subscribe or Paul Breach is going to keep grooming. And let's be real, I don't think any of us want that.
My God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
So Paul Breach, he's having a bit of a breakdown, really. This one is not looking great, and this could get pretty messy. If you don't remember Paul Breach, lucky you, but he does also go by a variety of different names. Snapshoteye, Beauty Beyond the Eye, but most importantly, TikTok's biggest creep. That final one, by the way, he has grafted for that name, you know, he has actually earned it.
Why do you only talk to girls in the comments? Because it's only the girls that are commenting, and if it's a comment from a guy, I say hi. I don't know. Maybe because I'm dating them all and we're having babies.
Just a normal bloke, really, you know, a normal 44-year-old bloke. His whole thing is he kind of acts like a child, and if he wasn't so creepy, you know, this wouldn't necessarily be a problem. But he is a creep, so this behaviour kind of comes across like a bit of a Trojan horse approach. He has used this approach. This isn't even a theory. He's like liked young girls' photos and stuff like that. He's opened up Snapchat accounts for his fans, which is always a red flag. The biggest stain on his reputation, though, is what he did in his late 20s. I'll let the clip do the talking. It is about as bad as it sounds.
Yeah, I thought it was a rumour, me, that you got a 16-year-old pregnant.
I didn't.
17-year-old pregnant.
Well, rumour. I'm quite fine.
How old's the girl now?
Oh, fine. Not talk about.
Is she over 30?
Not talking about family.
Could be the most David Brent response of all time. She wasn't 16. Granted, she was 17. Now, this is actually legal in the UK, but it's a bit of a reoccurring theme that morality is kind of not synonymous with the law. The thought of a bloke pushing 30, trying it on with a teenager is creepy, whatever way you look at it. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that they didn't get straight into it. I'm sure Paul had to do some grafting before they, but this, coupled with his general conduct, has made him a bit of a public enemy in the UK. Anytime he leaves the house, he is recorded, and in fairness, that could be in the public interest. The funniest thing is, he is always doing the exact same thing. He normally has a bag in his hand, and he always has his phone in his hand. He was actually sighted a few days ago at Carnival, and again, he was doing the exact same thing. Even carnival aside, Paul Breach and music are generally two things that should never go together. Dancing on TikTok and being a 44-year-old man, these are two things that typically don't go together anyway. But Paul Breach has bucked this trend, and it's never fun viewing, to be honest. He's going for 50 Shades of Grey here, but it is coming across more like 50 Shades of like a reddish pink. This is, again, another thing that Paul Breach is known for, his red face. Power to him, really, but I do have my suspicions. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but his red spots kind of do line up with a shape. These red marks could be a consequence to something, and I was actually willing to believe that. But then a twist in the story happened, and everything we thought we knew about Paul could have been turned on his head.
There she was, just walking down the street, singing do-a-dee. Diddy-dum-diddy-day. She looks good, she looks good, she looks fine, she is mine.
Now, at first glance, I thought he was just kind of following a woman through the forest. That would be very on brand with Paul Breach, to be fair. But it turns out maybe not. It turns out that Paul Breach actually has a girlfriend. Now, if I was Paul Breach's girlfriend, and I promise I don't want to be, but if I was, well, my only stipulation would be that I don't want to be posted anywhere. I don't want to be involved in this in any way. The girl in question, though, she hasn't taken this approach, and in fairness, maybe she's not the most rational person. To be fair, at this point, I am praying she's real. If she's not, and Paul Breach actually has 4 arms, then we are in danger. He's done enough damage with 2 arms, to be fair. Like, 4 arms could be a problem. Now, this twist in the story, it's marked a pretty big change in Paul Breach. As you've seen so far, historically, he is like the archetypal masculine geezer, but no longer, and it is getting a bit scary.
Slay girl! Oh, you go girl! Oh, you go girl! No, you go girl! Slay! You ate that. Oh my god, you ain't left no crumbs. Oh, you slay girl! You slay!
Now, believe it or not, that was actually the calm before the storm. As you've already seen, and as you're about to see more, Paul Breach has presumably got in his girlfriend's wardrobe. He has absolutely pillaged it, and his experiments since, they've not been great, to be honest. Now, I'll be entirely real, I don't really have anything witty or substantial to say. I could maybe do a little play on a nurse thing, I don't know. Really, my overriding thought is, you just don't look great, really. It's Paul Breach, like, we know there are ulterior motives here. Now, this could be 4D chess. Paul Breach could be mocking certain YouTubers that used to make videos on him. They wore dresses, and they did some bad stuff, but we'll get to them later. It's obviously not that, though. Paul Breach is doing this for the shock value, and it's fair to say that people in the UK TikTok community, they were pretty shocked.
Wow. Just wow. Has he actually turned into a transvestite now, or has he announced that he's a girl and identified himself as a girl, or what? I don't know.
I mean, it's cutting edge commentary, really. If I was this good, then maybe I'd have more subscribers. But this is very much Paul Breach's brand now, and he has gone on live and kind of defended and spoken about it.
Wait till I post this on Instagram. Oh, the motherfucking insecure boys are going to get very upset. Oh my god, I can't fucking wait.
Now, I don't know how he does it, but he does make me cringe every time he talks. Kind of impressive, but also a bit tiring.
Oh my god.
The idea that he thinks that people don't like him or are criticising him just because he's wearing a dress. It's not that, really. I just don't think he's pulling it off, personally. But he has fully convinced himself of this idea, and he is even posting about it on Instagram now. He posted a picture of some blokes in dresses, and then he followed it up with a crazy caption. These guys are firefighters, and I don't see any hate comments. Why would that be? Fair play to them all for having fun and looking good. Now, Paul Breach isn't a firefighter, but he does get flamed as much as one. But I will reiterate, people aren't speaking out against Paul Breach because he's wearing a dress. They're speaking out about Paul Breach because of his past behaviour, and that was going on way before he put on a dress. Either way, he had, by this point, fully convinced himself that this was the reason people had a problem with him. And he kept beefing the people on TikTok, and it's about everything you would expect it to be.
Hey, this will all be over. You'll have to sit with yourself and know you did this for views and... Oh, Derek... That's why I make TikToks.
I don't know if he's pretending to give backshots here, but that's not an image you'll be able to get out of your head. And I still don't really know what he's saying, but he did keep going.
I don't do it to fix global warming. I do it for you to watch it. And you know what, Flower Fairy? I think that might not be your real name, but it might be. You watched it.
Now, I guess he's saying that he's view baiting and it is working, and to be fair to him, you know, it is working. But with that in mind, I will just never understand the mentality of doing anything for views. Because sure, a number on an app is going up for you, but is it worth becoming a social pariah for that number going up? I don't think it is, man, because every time he leaves the house, as we've seen, he is recorded. Doesn't seem fun, but it also does seem like he's dying on this hill, because there is no way back.
Love it. I will sit down with myself, I promise you, in 78 more years, and I'll look at myself and wait, you made TikToks for people to watch. Who do you drop my shoulder think you are?
I mean, I will say, Paul, I don't think you've got 78 years or whatever it was you said. You're not 18, although you might think you are. You are 44. It might all actually come down to that. All of his behaviour can kind of be explained by him thinking he is actually 18, especially all the creepy, weird stuff. To be fair, like, that is a good theory.
And I look divine. I look slay. I look like a king and a queen and a pookie.
Yeah, I think we've seen enough of this. Let's move on. Because Paul, otherwise, has actually been going on the offensive. While he is throwing stones from a glass house, he is actually justified in what he's saying. The worst person you know, he actually made a great point.
Robbie, thank you for the follows. Corey, thanks for Rose. And it's really upsetting. More than those nasty words that weird YouTubers made. Where are you now? Where are you now? In hiding. Silence is deafening. Paris Ryan, thank you. Silence is deafening.
Now, this is like Christmas for Paul Breach, and admittedly, he's had 44 of them, but this could be the best one. There's a couple of YouTubers that had made a lot of videos on Paul Breach. They had, to put it lightly, done some stuff. And we're not going to go into it too much, because if you know who Paul Breach is, then you are probably already aware. The situations are terrible, and Paul Breach fully ran with them.
Make sure you answer allegations unless it's towards you, and then you're not going to say nothing, are you? Emmy, hi, thank you, Roses. Tyler, I've been a nasty girl.
He's fully right, and this is a rare win for Paul. God knows he needed a win. They were beyond hypocrites, but by putting their criticism back at them, he is kind of admitting that it is a valid criticism. And with that in mind, he is kind of shooting himself in the foot. It's a bit like a murder-suicide, but you can't win them all. But upon hearing what I'm Alex and Lewis Buckin did, this is the happiest we've seen Paul.
Hello, Alex. Have a great day.
He's not been as happy since he opened that Snapchat account for fans. I mean, he needed a win. He really did. And basically, every video those guys made is now just completely obsolete. I mean, you look back at them, and they are now very weird.
Don't see any difference, to be honest. I'm 100%, apart from maybe the lips, the eyes there. Just maybe all of it. But, you know, I won't tell if you don't tell.
You are a grown man, an adult, right? Get off Snapchat. Right? I feel like I'm a criminal.
Well, I mean, yeah, Paul Breach is now fully milking this as if it absolves his past.
Here we go again. I'm sure I've made videos like this in the past. Lessons don't get learned, but we'll see what goes on. So it turns out, another blue-ticked individual who likes to talk about other content creators for banters, laughs, make themselves the internet celebrity that they call themselves. Well, it turns out things that they've been doing in their private life aren't quite right.
I mean, you know it's serious when Paul Breach isn't in a silly, goofy mood. But to be fair on this one, I do just have to let him cook.
Tables have turned. Things aren't looking too good for you. Hi.
So we'll let him have his time in the sun. Not too long, to be fair. He will burn very easily. But this has clearly gone to his head. And judging by his Instagram, he now thinks he is God. Anytime a bloke thinks he's God, you know, we're on the precipice of something bad happening. And when it's a man whose personal philosophy is if there's green grass on the pitch, then play ball. You know, we should probably avoid that happening. Either way, like and sub. And when it does happen, you'll see it here. And other than that, I'll leave you with one more lesson.
I'm not an 18-year-old girl, people. I'm not an 18-year-old girl.
Well, despite what they say, I guess we aren't what we eat. Oh, mate, that's a joke Paul Breach would make. I don't know if I can keep that one in.